Hi, I'm Olena of popthepimple.com and welcome to 28 days of clear skin. Today is day 11 and I'm so excited for this one. This one is really important and really difficult. So something that people with pimples unfortunately do is we touch our faces, especially when the pimples get really bad. You wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is feel along and you try to see what's changed on the landscape of your face. Because at that point it starts to feel like a bit of a landscape, with bumps and holes and just unpleasantness. What this also does is it spreads bacteria all over your face because your hands are usually clean, but if you think about it, you're picking up germs everywhere you go. I'm not saying that you're picking up acne and bacteria everywhere you go, but you are still spreading it. Like if you are touching the pimple, you are getting stuff in there. You're also potentially clogging the pore. I mean, there's really no benefit to touching your face. The only time you should be touching your face is when you are washing your face. Like in the morning with maybe water, and then in the evening with a soap-free cleanser. And you have to make sure, of course, that you wash your face thoroughly, but you don't need to touch your face beyond that. Yes, okay, when you apply your moisturizer, when you apply your toner, sure, okay, sure. But are your hands clean? A personal rule that I've always had is my hands have to be clean and then I can touch my face. And I only touch my face though if there's a purpose. And is the purpose to clean my face? Is the purpose to apply makeup? Is the purpose to remove the makeup? Not like, is the purpose to spread bacteria all over my face and make things worse? Now, I went through like chronic face picking that I could hardly control when I was experimenting with natural oils on my face, like when I was doing jojoba oil and argan oil, or just even plain water. What was happening was my skin was very congested and it was becoming increasingly congested. I developed a compulsion where every single morning I had to touch it. Before going to bed, I had to touch it. Throughout the day, I had to touch it. And it was really hard. It was extremely hard, and I was realizing that every time I was touching it, I was also making the situation worse. So not only were the oils making the situation worse, I was also adding to it by touching my face all the time, by popping pimples left and right. Like, it was a war zone on my face. And it took me a while to snap out of it, to even make the realization that, hey, Olena, do you know what you used to do really well? Is not touch your face. I used to be the pro of do not touch my face. If anybody came close to my face, I'd be like, do not touch my face. Are your hands clean? Are your hands freshly washed? Like a surgeon. No, do not touch my face. Why do you need to touch my face? No reason? Okay, then don't touch my face. Like, I was a weirdo. I understand the compulsion. I understand that you want to know what's going on. But you have to understand that what you're doing is not helping. So if it's not helping, it's time to stop doing it. Because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Funny enough, a friend of mine, she is involved with this company called Pavlok, where they have this device that shocks you. Basically, you can use this device to teach yourself not to do certain things. It's aversion shock therapy, and it looks like a Fitbit kind of, but it has a shocker in it, and if you press it, it will actually shock you. And so I asked her, I said, maybe I could use your Pavlok to rid myself of pimples. And of course I didn't want to shock myself, but I set it so that every time my hand went up to be near my face, it would vibrate, reminding me not to touch my face. And I wore it for about 2 days and then I stopped because I realized I was smarter than the device, and if I just moved quickly that I could touch all the pimples and the device would then lag behind me. And the awareness really helped, and so I began building on that and just trying my hardest not to touch my face, and it really helped. Like when I stopped picking my skin, when I stopped popping pimples, and just literally I touched my face when I needed to wash it and apply products. It was a game changer. It was a game changer. You cannot have clear skin if you're constantly touching your face. This is a tough one though for so many people. I have a client who I'm like talking to her on Skype and I'm telling her, so you can't touch your face. And she's sitting there like literally like this. I'm not even touching my face right now because like I said, I don't touch my face, but she was sitting like with her hands on her face and nodding like, yeah, I don't touch my face. I'm like, where the F is your hand right now? She's like, oh, right? Like we don't even notice when we do it. And so you have to be extremely vigilant and aware of yourself because nobody else will do it for you. So you're gonna have to be the boss lady here and figure this stuff out. Now, why is pimple popping so bad for you? And I wasn't convinced, I'm like, come on, the pimple has to come out, like it's better if it comes out. And so I asked Toronto's premier dermatologist, like the #1 dermatologist in Toronto, Dr. Kellett, and she had some sad answers for me. Like I asked her, is there any circumstance under which it's okay to pop a pimple? She's like, no. I'm like, God damn. So when you have a pimple, it's actually an immune response to a little clog or some bacteria in your skin. So your system's actually already dealing with it. That's why you even have that pimple. So you going in there and, interfering is not helping matters. Now you're creating a scar that then needs to heal. And as you know, acne scarring doesn't go away very easily. The discoloration left over by you popping the pimple is just not worth it. It's not worth it. Because later you're gonna have to consider things like chemical peels, and by that I don't mean like light chemical peels. You're gonna have to go a little deeper to get rid of all the discoloration and the bumps. So again, it's just really, really not worth it to spread the bacteria, pop the pimples, create like a war zone on your face, and then have to fix that. Don't create more product problems for yourself by touching your face. And when you do touch your face, make sure your hands are just like super, super clean. Other things to be mindful of though are things like your pillowcases, your makeup brushes, your phone. Like the phone, we touch it after, we've eaten, when we've touched other doorknobs and things. So the phone is a hot spot for just yucky germs and bacteria. When I used to talk on the phone a lot more, I would hold it to my cheek. And later I realized that I was also breaking out exactly where I would use my phone, usually on the right side where I use my phone more. So I made that connection, and the phone is just a hotspot for germs and bacteria. And anywhere you go, you're picking up germs, right? And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, it's good to be resistant to these things. Like, you can't live in a bubble, but putting your phone on your face is not a good idea. No. Also, your makeup brushes, be mindful to clean them at least once a week because that sure helps. You're picking up skin cells and things with your makeup brushes, and if you do have bacteria on them and stuff, that might also help spread, and it just makes sense to, keep some semblance of sanitation in your surroundings. And then your pillows. Pillows is a common one. I'm sure you've already heard this, to clean your pillow at least once a week, because you do get your hair oils and maybe hair product left over on your pillows, and then that can potentially cause a little bit of clogging on your face. So these are kind of easy little tips and tricks that you can do. But I think the #1 thing though is to make sure your phone is clean. So you can rub it down with some rubbing alcohol, or some, I don't know, antibacterial wipes or something so that it's not gross. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you know that I went through all this stuff, and I know that it can be a little difficult, but with some patience and some self-love and some compassion towards, again, yourself, you can do it. You can do it. You just have to be aware of the things that you're doing. And the more awareness you gain, the better you will be able to control some of these compulsions, especially when you know the benefits of doing so. Thank you so much for watching. And if you want to get every single one of my 28 hacks for clear skin in your inbox, then sign up at popthepimple.com/28. And I will talk to you tomorrow.